Wait lang guys, mag-share lang ako. Magandang gabi, ako po si Trixie Cruz-Angeles. Ito po ang Luminous. Huwag pong kakalimutan, mag-like and share tayo dito sa video. Lalong-lalo na dun sa Twitter para yeah, yung mga ano doon, yung mga hindi sutil doon ay mahimasmasan. Magandang gabi. Teka lang ha, mag-share lang po ako. Mabilis lang to. The meantime, magsaya na muna tayo ng konti. Do the dance of joy. Habang ano, habang hindi pa tayo nag-start. Saglit lang ah. Alright. There you go. Ano ba? Kung ano-ano yung nakiklik ko. Ayun. Magandang gabi. Ako po si Trixie Cruz-Angeles at magandang gabi, ako po si Trixie Cruz-Angeles. Ito po ang Luminous. Don't forget, mag-check po tayo kung naka-follow pa tayo sa ating Facebook page kasi minsan nanghihiwaga talaga ang Facebook at tinatanggal yung mga naka-follow. So, don't forget to follow. And guys, para lalo-lalo na yung mga nandito nakikinig sa YouTube, kung hindi pa po kayo nakaka-subscribe, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I hope everybody's feeling well. Mukhang masasaya na naman kayong lahat, ye of little faith. Lalo-lalo na, naaalala ko yung mga pangalan ng mga taong umaaway sa akin in the past few days. Pero first, unang-una, yung mga mali na nagkukot sa akin. Hector Padrigo says, wag mag-iwan ng blanco, might as well mag-shade ka. Ang sinasabi nga namin, pwede kang mag-iwan ng blanco, lalo-lalo na para sa senador. Wag yung para dun sa mga mayors kasi isa lang pipiliin mo. Para dun sa pipiliin na multiple, well, which is the Senate, no, marami yan, hindi kailangan i-fill in lahat. Kasi ang ginagawa natin is nilalagay natin yung mga hindi return of the comeback, yung mga bagong papasok sa Senado, at natatabunan kasi sila nung mga matagal na, yung mga return of the comeback na iba, yung mga trapo, ganyan. May name recall sila. Ang ginagawa kasi ng iba, kapag may naiwan na pagkakulang, yung listahan nila, let's say 5 lang ang senador, 12 yung mga slots, pupunuin nila ng mga naaalala nilang pangalan. Which means na dumadami yung boto para dun sa mga trapo senators, samantalang yung mga bago, konti lang. So, mas lalo natin pinaaangat yung iba. So, yung mga bago lang, para hindi makahabol yung iba, just them. Pwede niyong i-blanco yung iba. Hindi po yan ang cheating mechanism po, it doesn't matter anymore whether it is blank or it is full. Pero kung mapupuno po ninyo yan ng lahat ng mga bago, starting with President Rodrigo Duterte, first time niyo magiging senador, second Attorney Larry Gadon, and so on, then okay din lang po. And thank you kay Wilson Clave. Thank you twice. Thank you very much, Nathaniel Quintos, for your super sticker. Also, Maite Bayasa, good afternoon. Silent viewer daw siya from Barcelona, Spain. Maraming salamat po. Alright. So, natatawa ako kasi several months ago, ang sabi ko is, I don't really want the president to retire. Nung time na yon, hindi pa masyadong nabubuo kung sino yung gusto nating presidente and so on. Pero lumilitaw na, run, Sara, run na yung panawagan natin noon. And it was run, Sara, run for president. Pero medyo nagkagulo yon. So now, ang inaano natin was, ang sinabi namin was that kung pwede sana, that President Duterte runs sana for Senate. Bakit? Okay, regardless of who becomes president, or let's say, let's take a scenario na hindi niya kasundo ang presidente. Just in case, no? Kunwari, may nakalusot na somebody, hindi pa masyado, I'm not saying it's BBM, let's say it's somebody else. Kunwari lang ha, kayo mainis. But you check ng Senado. The senators now, 'di ba, ang ginagawa nila, napapatid din nila yung administrasyon. Ito, binawasan nila ng budget, yung NTF-ELCA, yung walang humpay na Senate investigations, and so on. Okay, now the President is a keen watcher of what the Senate is doing. Ngayon, kung hindi niya mabago yung kanilang attitude at yung kanilang ginagawa, abay, kaya naman niya, he's patient enough so that pag siya na yung nandun, tignan na natin kung kakayanin pa nung kabilang parlor gawin yung mga gusto nilang gawin. And kung yung presidente ay kontrapartido, maaari din niyang ma-check through the Senate. So that's one. Number two, yung reforma, kung kasundo mo naman ang presidente, maitutuloy lahat ng mga reforma or most of it anyway, except for those that emanate in the House. So sana kakampi din yung magiging House Speaker. But the point here is that ang laking tulong kapag kaakibat or kasundo yung Senado, then yung mga pangangailangan na legal instruments o na laws na ng executive ay maipapasa or matutulungan, madaliin at ipasa doon sa legislature. Pangatlo, the budget. The power of the purse lies with the legislature. So, kung kunwari, kailangan ng additional supplemental budget and so on, andun yan sa legislature. Pang-apat, Commission on Appointments. So, nasa legislature yung Commission on Appointments and kung meron talagang napupusuan yung nasa executive, yung presidente, kailangan ko itong taong ito para siya yung siya yung tumulong sa akin dito sa particular na ahensya. Kailangan ko ito bilang cabinet secretary ko. Kaya naniniwala ako na kaya niyang i-fulfill yung mga pinagagawa ko sa kanya. So, pagdating dun sa Commission on Appointments, madali na. Diba? Kung kaakibat yung magiging Senate President, marami pong magagawa. Now, fifth, the Senate conducts the trials. Kapag merong lumusot na impeachment case, pagdating sa Senado, it would be a nice thing if the Senate is friendly towards the President. That's if kung magkasundo kayo. Ngayon, kung hindi magkasundo, alam niyo na ang pwedeng mangyari, di ba? Because the Senate nga will be the impeachment court. Diba? O ang daming nagagawa kapag So nakikita natin that hindi hindi masasayang. Kumbaga, whoever sits as the next president, ang laki ng maitutulong ni presidente. Or on the other hand, kung hindi kaakibat ng presidente, then God have mercy on their souls. That's I think of course, it will depend kung sino yung makakaupo sa Senado and all that para ma-determine kung sino yung magiging Senate President. But, malaki yung say talaga if you're a former president, your daughter is the vice president and so on and magkasundo kayo ng presidente. Maraming magagawa. Yung ganyan. O let's say naging Senate President, meron ding stability, 'di ba? So, yun yung nakikita natin, malaki talaga yung advantage ngayon that the president is going to run for Senate and has a huge chance of becoming a Senate president. Now, if he's not the Senate president, what can he do? He can do a lot because there are the committees. Pero pwede siyang, in worst case scenario, yung tinatawag nating pagpipilibustero. So, marami yan. Privileged speeches and so on. Pwede siya yung mag-pass ng mga bills na kailangan ng presidente or on the other hand, pwede rin siyang mag-file ng resolution asking for an investigation. And because of the popularity of President Duterte, soon to be Senator Duterte, then makikita natin that diba, people will be listening. Papakinggan yung mga privileged speeches niya and so on. So if there are issues that still need to be put front and center for national attention, meron plataforma pa rin si President Duterte. Thank you kay Ernie Campita. Thank you din kay Christine Rivera. Sabi niya, BBM Duterte and Duterte. Yeah. Ang saya, no? Ito, will the loyalists support Duterte's senatorial slate after sabihin niya na hindi niya support si BBM? I don't know. Diba? But is that even necessary? Kasi, look, how many votes will he need? Let's say that, that iba kasi yung pag Senate mas madali i-vote. You can vote so many people as a senator. So iba po yung magiging formula niyan. I think that despite the fact that the president is no longer going against his daughter, one of the main arguments is no longer available, 'di ba? And nakikita na natin is that it's like an olive branch, eh. Nakikita natin na at least with regard to the vice presidency, peace 'yan. So let's see how he's going to, and I think that no matter what, either he will make good with PPM, but I don't see him losing the senatorial race. I mean, you're talking about the person whose presidency where he rated over 50% for most of it. And come on, and for large parts of it, over 80%. This guy is no pushover. And I think that you would be grossly underestimating him if you think his Senate run is going to be affected by anything he says, even right now. Diba? Ah, ayaw namin ng dayuhan na presidente. Guys, huwag tayong fake news, ha? I don't know what you're talking about. If there are issues of citizenship here, I really don't agree with fake news. Huwag kayong diktador. Kung gusto niyo BBM, mag-BBM kayo. Kung go kayo, mag-go kayo. Bahala kayo kung sino gusto niyo sa Bendalupan. I think that's really the nature of elections, di ba? Huwag po kayong mag-away. Ang saya-saya natin eh. Saya-saya ng araw ngayon, di ba? So, uh, we called it because the reason sinabi namin na gusto namin si PRRD na mag-senador is because also maraming mga laws na hindi na nagawa, hindi na push kasi nga ang dami pa rin you know what's doon sa legislature. And so, 'di ba, pahirapan maipasa yung tax reform, pahirapan lahat. So now when he becomes a senator, we can see at least there will be a good push. Makikita natin na maganda yung magiging, how do you call this, maganda yung magiging resulta at saka hindi masyadong magtatagal yung mga necessary legislation. Hi kay Ma'am Annette Magno, maraming salamat sa super sticker. Guys, huwag tayong mag-away. Okay, but I'm all for healthy debate. Pauline Tag says, the latest SWS survey shows Soto at 44%. Di pa nag-fan si Sarah that time. Do you think mababawasan rating ni Soto now that Sarah is running? Actually, I have no doubts. Di ba? Ophir, did PRRD just expose Bongo? O plano niya talaga ito para maiwasan na dayain muli ni Lenny si BBM at yung BBM communist ay drama niya lang, ha para pakagatin ng oposisyon. Okay, tumawag talaga ako sa source ko sa Malacanang and it is not true that the president said that. He was talking about somebody else. He was talking about BBM and then he got distracted and started talking about Lenny. So, ako ganun ako kasi sometimes kasi ADD ako. So, this is what I'm saying. Stop spreading that canard. Hindi po sinabi ni President Duterte na pro-communist si BBM. I will repeat that several million times until people stop saying it. Hindi niya sinabi yan, that is fake news. Okay? That is a gross misinterpretation of what he was saying. Alright? It's not true. Guys, hindi ko sinasabi na si Byron ang nagsabi noon. I don't know what he said later on, but during the interview, certainly that's not true. Sabi ni Sir Leo Inocencio, politics is addition as it is at present. Mas marami ang mga presidential at VP candidates na nagsasalita in strong support of the administration, nakalaban din ng opposition. Unprecedented genius moves talaga. Hilong-talilong at disabled tuloy ngayon ang opposition kung sino sa mga strong candidates pupuntiryahin nila. Diba? Sabi ni Skylove, he's watching from Lebanon. Uy, ganda niyan. Kung sakaling maging senador si Digong, pwede po ba niya bawiin yung ginawang tax reform ni Gordon na run in contrast sa CREATE? Actually, di ba, yung pinasa ni Senator Gordon noon na RIICH, package, o ayun, ay vinito ni Presidente. So, ni-refile ni Senator Gordon yung bill, hindi pa po na ipapasa. So, kaya niyang tablahin yon. Kung ay, yun na naman, sorry. Paki-expound, attorney, para ma-explain namin na hindi niya nga sinabi yung communist si BBM. Ulitin ko po. He was talking about BBM and then he cuts and then starts talking about Lenny. Tulad niya si Lenny. He didn't say si BBM katulad ni Lenny. It was a break in the thought at tulad niya si Lenny. And then he rants about Lenny. So it's not that. I really asked and that's really not what he meant. Because you know what? If what he meant was to say that BBM was pro-communist, dun pa lang, yun na yung rant niya. Ayan, ayoko si BBM, hindi ko siya susuportahan kasi ganito, ganito. Komunista siya and so on. And alam kong komunista siya kasi ganito. Because this guy always, when he talks, tignan mo nga si ganyan, ganito yan eh, and so on. So, he usually gives basis for that. At saka hindi siya titigil sa gano'n na parang pahapyaw lang. Si Presidente, he rarely indulges in subtlety. Okay? So, sabihin niya talaga, diretsahan. O yan, komunista yan. The engineer says, we admire the way you see things and how you tend to analyze it in details. PRRD runs for senator under PDDS, yung sinabi mong clean slate to transfer to. Yeah, although I'm not saying na hindi tutulong ang PDP laban. They will still form an alliance with the president. You know why? Now that he's running for senator, those who are running under PDP laban will form part of the coalition that can put him in as Senate president. So although may alliance sila, they don't have the baggage. President Duterte and Senator Bongo do not have the baggage of PDP laban, but given their working relationship in the Senate, President Duterte can count on the support of the PDP laban senators. Okay? Politics is addition. Sabi ni don't know the name, feeling ko si Bongo pinatakbo lang nila para backup in case ma-disqualify si BBM. If eligible na talaga si BBM sa presidential ball, then Bongo will back out para hindi mahati ang boto for BBM, Sarah. Maybe. Maybe. I think it's a fair theory. Attorney, magugunita ako na mapupush na ang federalism. Alright, yes, I agree that it's a big possibility and it can start early. Pero don't think that it's going to be easy, ha? Baka ma-frustrate kayo. That commentary, thank you for your super chat. Thank you kay Ma'am Bella Canilao. Basta attorney, happy ako ngayon sa mga new developments. Waiting na lang ako sa senatorial slate na i-endorse ni BBM Sara PRRD. This was the answer I was asking for yesterday night about the win-win situation for the four of them. BBM President, Sara for VP, PRRD for Senate, and Bongo for Majority Floor Leader. That sounds good. I hope it comes true. At any rate, meron tayong mga, it's nice to see that the president is really not going to oppose his daughter. Lumabas kasi sa balita sa DWIC na tinawag na pro-communist na BBM at Madam Lenny. Sana hindi na rin yung binalita sa morning news ng DWIC. Ma'am, even if I'm with DWIC, wala po akong control sa news department namin. And I have no editorial control. Jennifer Nalitan says, I was skeptical about TP's throwing shade on SBG the other day, pero kung iisipin natin, all that Tatay Digong has been doing is suicidal. Ang banggain ng mga drug lords, ang isang paa niya at pamilya na ay parating nasa hukay with death threats all around. That same threat applies to SBG and to his family, as he is always with the president wherever he goes. I'd say, who are we to judge SBG? That's actually a very good attitude. Okay. No hate. Even if you're not going to vote for Senator Bongo, I think that if ever we're going to criticize him, at least to criticize fairly. Right? Roy Concepcion says, this is the nail in the opposition's coffin. The drama was a carrot for the opposition's false hope of a DDS split and to prevent them to pull off a last-minute coalition. All right. So now that we're talking about Senator Bongo, let's discuss what General Parlade was saying. Now, here's the thing. If General Parlade had said it the day before, then this would have gotten legs. Kakalat yan. Kasi the day before, marami na ngang rumors, di ba? With the president going off on on BBM and so on, and then with people talking trash about Senator Bongo, then this would have been the perfect opportunity if General Parlade had brought this out the other day. But with the president filing for senator, the heat is off, di ba? And there's more room now for people to think more kindly about Senator Bongo. Yeah, like what you said kanina, uh, we're forced to take a second look at Senator Bongo and why the president has wanted him to run. And now that it's no longer as, how do you call this, as stressful as it was the other day, then now, this news falls kind of flat. So, kung titignan ninyo yung mga sinasabi ni General Parlade, it's his opinion. Okay? He doesn't say that it is anything more than that. Wala naman siyang binigay na ebidensya. All he says is ask the AFP, ask them, ask this, ganyan. I have seen instances where he controlled the president and so on. But these assertions, while incendiary, at saka they're very good for sound bites and all that, they have no evidence yet. But we know that General Palade is an intelligent person. So if ever, we are going to wait for a follow-up statement to that one. Diba? Hindi pa muna tayo masyadong magre-react because right now, it's merely an assertion na wala naman pong ebidensya, ni walang nakalagay doon na very specific instances where he had seen this happen. Okay. So, Ma'am MJ Veluz, she says, like you, attorney, very calm and not biased, very informative. Thank you po. Thank you kay Florante. Nakalma na ba ang lahat? Just done work here at kalmado na. Grabe kayo. Why you like this? Lulette Abellar says it's a very good decision for him to run as senator. BBM Sara, RRD, game over for the opposition. Thank you, KJ Weko, for your super sticker. Thank you sa Korean name for always, sabi niya, thank you for always educating us. My president is BBM, my vice president is Sara. Thank you kay Ma'am Elsa Lloren also for your super sticker. Maraming salamat po. Ah, Eto, sabi pagbigyan niyo na si Myron. Ay grabe, wag naman ganyan guys. Guys, if you'll notice, dito sa Luminous, hindi po namin inaaway ang mga kapwa vloggers namin. Regardless of their opinion, maliban lang kung super talamakang talagang dilaw yan. At saka yung mga disrespectful na taga-kabilang parlor, in which case, one of two things, either the dead mind namin or you will be made an example of. Di ba? On our wall. But as to fellow bloggers who are also pro-government, medyo we don't really like to do that. Kumbaga, it's an exercise in democracy to allow a lot of opinions to flourish. We don't have to, anong sinasabi nila, never stop at every do not stop at every barking dog. Di-distract ka lang. So, and now, the thing to do is for our candidates to win. And so, how are we going to do that? If we're going to practice that politics is addition, huwag naman tayong unduly makikipag-away. Diba? Kasi if we're trying to convince people to vote for our candidates, tayo na yung ambassador noon. So tayo na yung magpipresenta ng mga plataforma ng ating mga kandidato. And in that way, but people who have not decided might take a second look at the candidate that we're pushing. Attorney, baka plan B si Bongo, mababaw lang kaso ni BBM, pero what if matsambahan na madisqualify si BBM, meron pa ding Bongo, malikot ang isip. So ako, I think that that's a good theory and a good plan if ever it is a plan. Diba? But I'm pretty sure hindi, at least not with the case that has been filed, no? Hindi ko nakikita na magiging disqualification case yan. If it does, then, you'll have me every day on Luminous arguing why. 'Di ba? I don't think that, well, I don't think that it will prosper. But for political purposes, I expect the other parlor to use it. Yun nga lang, it's not a very intelligent argument. Ah, oops, yun pa rin yan. Eminus Lipus says, 5 years have passed and still people don't know PRRDs. Every move will have a motive behind it, so always chillax. Agree. Thank you, KJ Weko. Bongo is not an insurance for BBM, sabi ni Warren Chowdhury. Admin will move heaven and earth to raise BG because other candidates are non-factors. Why would Duterte hand the keys over to BBM that easily? Again, also a fair comment and also a fair theory. Diba? Thank you kay Joseph. Sabi niya, abuloy sa salamang kamo. Lagya kayo. Kaya naman pwede kang i-hire na strategist para pwede ka din mag-live. Ang labo! Ang kulit, grabe. So, but but I'm kind of slightly lang proud of the fact na we were able to call it early on. But really, we were expressing a desire. We want the PRRD to run for senator because magiging ganap po yung mga reforma. Kasi he has vision. At nakikita natin yung leadership niya o sinabi niya talaga, ito kailangan iangat natin ng mahihirap. Pero hindi lang campaign slogan yun para sa kanya, hindi lang yun yung mga tipong sentimiento para ma-elect siya. He said, iangat natin na mahihirap po. So, free tertiary education, nag-universal healthcare, nag-tax reform siya para hindi naman masyadong may advantage yung kabilang parlor. Sila yung nakakaaral, sila yung may mga trabaho, sila yung nandadaya sa mga taxes nila, and so on. And our tax system, oh my gosh, dati the burden was borne solely by the middle class. And the president is the game changer there. Talagang tinaasan niya yung magiging taxable income. Tapos ngayon, binubuwag niya yung mga corporations na ang tagal-tagal nang nagpapakasasa dun sa kanilang tax breaks. So, that's what we're hoping. No, the president was not able to get all the legislation that he needed, and so now pwede niyang tapusin so that the next leaders will have these tools. They will be able kailangan mapapalaganap natin yung free tertiary education, mapupuno natin yung universal healthcare. Diba? All of those things that have been keeping us from breaking the cycle of poverty, they're already in place. Hindi kulang pa lang sa pera, kulang pa lang sa additional na mechanisms, but they are there. The potential is there. We can break out of poverty or at least begin to break that cycle very, very soon. Hindi pa kasi halimbawa kakaumpisa lang natin with the universal healthcare, so nakikita natin that it's not kumbaga we're not really satisfied yet with the way it's being done. Yoshi sandali merong may umaapila. What do you want? What do you want? No, later. You can eat later. I'm saying, what do you do this? Stop. Mamaya. Later. Go down. Later ha. Later na. Bye. Yoshi. Sir Al, si Yoshi. Okay, sorry. Interrupted by dog again tayo. And yes, English era yung mga dogs ko. So, ito, si Lucino Larazabal. Wait, let me look for your post. Teka, LA Star, thank you very much. Nahanap ko pa yung post ni Mr. Lucino Larazabal. I can see, yun. Kasi nagpapa-shoutout siya. Shoutout muna ako. Chino here from Norway. Bisita ka po ng Norway. Ako bahala sa dito. It's time for BBM to show why Marcoses are assets. See? Interesting yan. Pinoy Transporter Canada sent sa super chat, pambili daw po ng red-green t-shirt. BBM Sarah 2022 watching from Long Island, New York. Nax. Okay, sino pa ba yan? Partida wala pang ads ang BBM Sarah, pero parang hindi na ako, ano ba yan? Hindi na needed. Okay, noted na po, hindi na ako magfo-focus dyan kay Bana. Thank you kay Ma'am Olga Cuyos also. At kay Ma'am Marian Olan, sabi niya, a huge factor, yung way ni Banat Pai of inserting his personal interpretations ng mga sinasabi ni Tatay Digong, kaya nag-spread yung narrative na BBM is pro-communist. So sad. No, I think it's also possible that because he was on the fly, kumbaga, live kasi, minsan pag live, napapressure ka to interpret, to make conclusions, to provide commentary. At dahil mabilisan yan, like any media that requires speed, na nagbabalanse ka eh. Yung thought and analysis, these things require time. So to be fair to him, it's possibly that there's no time to make an in-depth analysis. I'm sure if he had time, that he would have been able to do that. Ito. Si Pinoy Transporter Canada, thank you very much. Grabe, dami nyo ngayon. Sabi ni Christopher Opinion, papadq daw nila PRRD si BBM. Really, unless it is the president who said that, I'm not going to put any value in that. It's possible, but right now, I don't see it happening base dun sa kaso na nakafile. Ito, sabi ni Juvie, grabe nagkatotoong sinabi mo sa karambola noon na kumbinsi mo talaga si PRRD na tumakbo bilang senador. Nagdilang Angel. So, mas magaling yung aking bolang kristal. In the event that guys, I think that you're really bothered about the disqualification case, that the disqualification be dismissed. Do you think the kabilang parlor can find another issue flow not our soon-to-be president? You know, BBM has run for elections for so many times already. Alam na niya kung anong gagawin. Alam na ng mga lawyers niya kung ano yung gagawin. Alam naman po nila kung ano yung mga maaaring ma-raise sa kanya. And I'm very sure that because they're such good lawyers, na-address na nila po yung mga yan. So, hindi ako worried actually with a disqualification case. Mas likely naguguluhin lang sila ng kabilang parlor. Teka, medyo late yung ano ko. Late yung aking feed. Okay, Ma'am Olga Cuyos. Ay, si Roel Costello, maraming salamat. Ang sabi niya, BBM Sara. Next. Si Ma'am May, thank you very much. What can you say with BBM Sara ticket? Can this be considered as a sure win? What can you see as Lenny's possible chance to penetrate to this juggernaut tandem? I see no chance of Lenny. But that doesn't mean na dapat kampante tayo. It is a campaign, and so we have to keep convincing people why the tandem is good. Okay? For those who are voting for Bongo, then you have to keep talking to people and talking about the good that our candidates have done. But hindi tayo, it's still a campaign. It's still an election. Kahit sabihin pa natin mga sure win yung mga yan, you know, things change, the conversations change, and so on. So you must be ready for the changes that issues that can be brought up, that we need to clarify, that also help crystallize our decisions. Diba? Yung iba sa atin, hindi pa sure. Kasi we love all of these personalities. Choosing between them is like choosing between your children. So, may ganon, di ba? Yan. Let's not be too sure. So, let's always keep in mind that these things, that the situation is still fluid, but there is still a lot of optimism because the numbers are all good so far. So, sabi ni Ma'am Rose, naumpisahan na ni PRRD, magaling na nasa Senado siya. Thank you kay Arlie Mars. Grabe, ang bilis na ano ninyo. Uy, 10,000 total number of live views, ha? Ang hinihintay ko na subscription ay si Ate Shawi for Kiko. Grabe kayo. Ang inaano ko lang, it's naawa nga ako kay Ate Shaks, kay Ate Shawi. She has to choose between her tito and her husband. Diba? Poor Ate Shak. So, ito na lang. Ate Shawi, don't choose na lang between your two loved ones. Inday Sara for the win. Pa-shoutout ng happy birthday kay Jobel My popcorn did not fail me. PRRD is an uber strategist. I hope Pol-Sci students and professors are taking note of his moves. I think that the president saying that he was going to run for vice president or sinakyan niya. Actually, I'm pretty sure the president did not intend to run for vice president. Pero sinakyan niya yung sinasabi ni Sec Andanar. I think Sec Andanar was also saying something that was more like a wish or a hope. And sinasakyan ng presidente yon. I think because he is taking the opportunity to clarify certain things, such as the rumors that he's being controlled, the rumors against Senator Bongo. It gave him an opportunity, diba? So now you know, he filed the candidacy for what he intended all along. So, like, you're right that I hope Pol-Sci students are taking note. The president is still leading the conversation here, and politically, all his decisions have been pretty sound so far. Probably we don't understand everything, but he's still a good strategist, diba? And very, very good at politics. Basta solve ng ginawang puzzle ni PRRD, mission natin ay ipanalo natin sila. Thank you kay Leslie Tugade for saying please don't forget to like. Ito, sabi ni Emma na Eman Imanim. Okay, anyway. I admire the president. How many natural calamities have passed during the administration with the pandemic and we are still on. Lalo na yung BBB being an OFW. Nakikita ko yung changes nung umuwi kayo. Alam mo, nakikita ko yung changes minsan nung tagal ko hindi pumupunta sa airport because of the pandemic. Pagdating ko doon, nalito na ako. Saan ba ako pupunta dito? Diba? Ay, shout out sa Cagayan de Oro City! Emeline Crit says, nakahabol din ako ng live. Yes, nakikipagbangayan ako lagi ng tama talaga lagi opinion nyo. Sa iyo talaga ako nagre-rely ng correct information. At Karambola, BBM Sara. Happy birthday for Justin Sagun, sabi ni Aldrich Joshua Sagun. Para sa mga manonood or nanonood nito on the replay, kamusta po kayong lahat? Thank you very much for catching up on the replay. Ang dami nasa live views ngayon. Ito, sabi ni Nura Marie Gordo, sa asawa ko to, mark name ko, pa-shout out po, Dilawan wife ko pero DDSO. Oh my gosh, I don't want to get between the two of you. Pero maraming salamat po at nandito kayo sa live namin. Ito, good evening. This is about PBM's case. Ang dami talaga nababahala pa. What is the difference between a DQ and cancellation of COC? DQ kung cancellation naman sa mga group of lawyers. DQ kung kay attorney. Okay. Ganito cancellation of certificate of candidacy, isa lang po yung ground niyan. May a material misrepresentation dun sa pag-fill up ng form. So in the case of PBM, it's supposed to be a petition for the cancellation of certificate of candidacy because of his material misrepresentation. Sabi niya kasi na he has not been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude. Nandun yun sa form. Ngayon, hindi niya sinabing, I have not been convicted. Ang sinabi niya doon is, I have not been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude. Actually, that's the form. Tapos pipirmahan mo lang doon or check, no, I have not been. Okay? So, that's a form. Ang sinasabi ng kabila, hindi, na-convict ka eh. Pero ang hindi nila sinasabi is that it has not been considered a crime involving moral turpitude for failure to file income tax returns. So, yun ang ina-argue nila. However, they filed it late. The time for filing, the period for filing is 5 days after the last day of the filing of certificates of candidacy. So, if the last day was October 8, 5 days after that, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, October 13 was the last day for filing. Now, they filed it, nearly November or November 3. So, it's beyond the 5-day period. So, although it is a petition for cancellation, the COMELEC can treat it as a petition for disqualification. Now, there is a difference. Now, yung petition for disqualification means you cannot be a candidate. So, it's broader. 'di ba? So, you cannot be a candidate because kulang yung qualifications mo. You failed in presenting all your qualifications, or two, you have a disqualification. So, one of those disqualifications is conviction of a crime involving moral turpitude. Now, why did they file a petition for cancellation of COC? The petition for cancellation of COC has the effect na it doesn't make you a candidate. So, kung i-grant yan ng COMELEC, automatically you're not a candidate and therefore you cannot be substituted because only candidates can be substituted. Right? I hope that's clear. Thank you kay Hannah Obrera. Sabi niya, thank you so much for keeping us on the right track. Chindi says, very true. Attorney Digong is just too wise to be controlled. I super like how you keep us informed and give us good analysis. Watching from Davao. Since all are already in rightful places, perhaps supporters should now working with the Senate slates. Anyone wish to start naming names? Well, number one, Rodrigo Duterte. Number two, Larry Gadon. But what I would like to do kasi is during the course of the next few months, we're going to interview people dito sa Luminous. Isa-isahin natin yung mga possible candidates. Whether we're going to vote for them or not, hindi pa yan material. We'll come up with a list of candidates after we have interviewed as many people as possible. Diba? Sabi ni Wutar Prish, pakana ni PRRD ang mga ito para ang mga tao makafocus sa conversation. Go BBM, Sara, SRRD. Kawawa naman po ang mga kalaban sa brilliant move. Naks, diba? Argus Try says, enter Senator Digong sa Senado, masusubukan kung hanggang saan ang tigas ni Dick. Well, I hope hindi na napuboto si Senator Gordon. I think that he has spent enough time in the Senate. He has done all the good that he can. Now it is time for new faces. Sabi ni Joanne, mukhang wala nang balak ibalik ang mga Pinoy yung dalawang Duterte sa Davao. O nga pala, sa lahat ng mga taga Davao dito, pasensya na kayo kasi hinihiram namin si Inday Sara. And pasensya na po kayo, hindi pa namin isusoli si Presidente Digong, ha? Extended po. Sabi ni Lotus Kui, hey, God bless the Philippines and wishing everything will be okay. Keep up the good works always and it pays huge. Maraming salamat, Attorney and Company. Ito, this is about the case of Gordon. Filed na executory, pwede bang cancel ang COC niya? If it is a crime involving moral turpitude, yes. But yung return kasi, the case that was filed before the Supreme Court was for, a question on whether or not the COA was correct. So, ito sa civil case, hindi po yan criminal case. Kailangan po ikunin yung evidence na yon and file it as a criminal case in order for him to be disqualified. Sabi ni Elbel, feel ko excitement mo, it's all over your face, nakakahawa. Kasi, the president never fails to disappoint. Whether it is, how do you call this? It is shaking things up, or yung mga ganito, surprise. Duterte is like an O. Henry short story. Hindi niya pinatatagal, he will always come up with a surprise ending, di ba? Take note ha, yesterday everybody was saying, ano ba to? Ang daming drama, pagod na ako, ano ba tong si Duterte and all of that. And now, suddenly, everybody's all sweetness and light. See, that's the thing with the president. He keeps us on our toes. We're always thinking and he's always thinking. And let's give it to him. He's really good at this. And all of us were just neophytes following him around. Mishka says, we lose Mayor Sara here in Davao City, but we're happy to share her to the nation as our next Vice President. Excited na ako mapalitan ng current VP. Uy, muntik na ako malusutan nun. Excited na mapalitan yung current VP. Ako, excited ako since day one napalitan yung current VP. Pasensya na po mga taga Davao, at least 12 years pa yung lease namin for Mayor Inday. Hehe, lab. Oo nga pasensya na ha. Tapos papadalan niyo pa ako ng champorado. So, pasensya na. Okay, June Cesar Maambong says, ano masasabi mo po sa vlog ni Maharlika about sa mga nakapaligid kay Tatay Digong na ginagamit lang siya ngayon at tinatawag niya na DDS na dilawan? Well, I don't like to comment nga on pro-government bloggers. So, I think that Ms. Maharlika is entitled fully to her opinion. What we would comment on is kung merong ebidensya na pinipresent, and then we can comment on that. On opinions, hindi. Kasi entitled sila sa sarili nilang opinion. Hindi naman tayo yung type na magsasabi sa ibang tao, no, don't think that way, di ba? Hayaan niyo siya. I think that she's very good at commentary. She has a lot of followers. And so, it is not our place. Because there's nothing to correct. You don't correct an opinion. Kahit ang Supreme Court, sinasabi ng Supreme Court, kahit nga mali yung opinion, as long as it is based on publicly on facts, there's no libel. Okay? So, hayaan na natin. Okay na yun. Na if we disagree, then we disagree. Well, libre naman tayo. We're free. Malaya tayo na mag-disagree sa mga ganon. Sabi ni June, yun pala yun. Sorry, may mga multiples kasi. Bakit parang nagutom sa kapangyarihan si Bongo? Sabi ni Pinas Power. Naalala ko dati, sinasabihan niya si Trillanes na pag natapos na si President Duterte ang term niya, uuwi na lang na daw sila sa Davao. Well, ganito po kasi yan, di ba? I keep saying is that what we say at certain times, they're usually applicable for that time. Now, sometimes magagaling yung ibang tao, classic yung mga sinasabi nila. Yung iba naman, parang may bolang kristal. Katulad ng ibang nagsasabing, I would like the president to run for senator. Mga ganyan. Pero yung iba kasi, nagbabago yung circumstances, so hindi na applicable yung sinabi nila. So halimbawa, nung time na sinabi ni Senator Bongo yon, or maybe at the time, Sap Bongo siya, pwede niyang at the time, hindi pa concerned or hindi pa malaking concern para kay Presidente yung legacy niya at yung magiging successor niya. So now that it has become an issue, lalong-lalo na sa mga kapanahunan ngayon, hindi na applicable. Kailangan na siya sa Senado, halimbawa si Senator Bongo, or in this case, kailangan na siya maging presidente, at least according to the way the president has presented him. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Okay, so things change, people change, situations change. And if you don't change your mind, even when the situation has already called for a change, then that's just, it's foolishness to do that. Well, also dangerous. PRRD's offensive strategy, sabi ni Sir Bobby, is like a runaway train which makes the opposition running in all directions. Actually, it makes if the president is a runaway train, it makes the opposition look like they're standing still. They can't catch up. Kita yung saya ng mood mo. Natutuwa ako na pinagagalitan mo kami sabay taas kilay. Si Ma'am Gian, Diyos ko, pasensya na po. Minsan naaabutan kayo ng what? Ko. Ma'am Lynn Albano, maraming salamat po. Nahanap ko yung isang sa super chat. Natutuwa ako sa mga komento niyo. Kayo din ay halata kayo, masaya kayo Eto, sabi ni Niel Tabs, kailan magkakaroon ng desisyon ng COMELEC about sa disqualification kay BBM? Kaya nakaantabay lang si Senator Go para pag inalis niya sa BBM, may baraha pang Pangulo. Pwede. Napaisip ako, why ban at buy of all people? Getting an exclusive with PRRD is not easy. It would have been better if it's you or Manong J. Sonsa. My 2 cents. It's possible na tulog kami ni Sir J. Alam niyo, kami nga, hindi kami nagtatanong. Maybe it's just accessibility. Maybe it's just easier to find Byron, di ba? Kami ni Manong Jay, baka tulog kami at the time, nahiya silang gisingin kami. Dahil halimbawa ako, may karabola pa sa umaga. Ito, sabi ni Fali ano na mangyayari sa mga inendorso ni PRRD sa PDP laban senatorial? Ngayon, hindi naman sa PDP nag-file ng candidacy niya, kundi sa PDDS. Well, they still have the strength of his endorsement. And with the president running for senator, may mga makakasama siya, di ba? He can still help them. And pagka nanalo na sila, meron na silang endorsement noon pa, di ba? Ngayon, pag nanalo sila, yun yung mga boboto para maging Senate President si Pangulo. Hindi nasasayang yung effort. Maraming salamat kay Rene Braga Baingko for your super sticker. Kay Ella Micha Miki, sabi niya, we love you. At Trix, ang daming pampakalma. Ang aming pampakalma. Si Ma'am Ida says, praying for safety of all my candidates until proclamation and onward. And PRRD as Senator, I pray that all of us respect an honest and clean elections. Ang galing, di ba? Ang saya. Ah, Eto, sabi ni Ariel Abel, malaki na po ba ang possibility for federal government? 100% panalo na sila BBM Sara at PRRD as SP soon. Well, like I said, I don't doubt na mauumpisahan yan. But let's not insist na madaliin yan. It's not going to be easy, especially when you convert to federalism. You're going to transfer the seats of government. You're going to think of the infrastructure requirements that that's going to need. So be it might be that we can pass the federalism, change the constitution and all that. But even then, yung putting in the legal instruments, first you have to change the constitution. And in order to change the constitution, you need to call either a constitutional convention or constitute the Congress into a constitutional assembly. So, dun pa lang, nakikita natin that it might take some time. But the good news is, it's possible na maumpisahan na. Sabi ni Arnold, ano masasabi niyo sa pagpupulgar ni General Pardade? Well, I discussed this earlier on, pero iulitin lang po natin for the sake of those who came in late. General Parlade's statement would have been a bombshell if he had said that yesterday or nung Saturday. Kasi nung Saturday, grabe na laganap na yung mga rumors tungkol dito nga supposedly that the president was being controlled or held hostage and all that. So it would have added fuel to that fire already. But now that the president is running for the Senate, medyo nawala yung init, nawala yung angas at saka yung contrariness, yung adversarial nature, the adversarial yung pagtutunggali on social media, medyo it lost steam, no? It's not that it wasn't that effective. However, it can still serve, it's still a soundbite, it still got reported, but it is still only his opinion until such a time when he can elaborate on this. Now, we know that General Parlade, hindi yan basta-basta mag-i-issue ng akusasyon na gano'n. At meron siyang mga sinasabi, ask the AFP, ask so and so. Alright, that can be supportive, pero mas maganda na meron siyang very specific na instances na ma-explain niya at mabibigyan niya ng supporting evidence yung kanyang paratang, because as we know, dahil meron tayong presumption of innocence, ang sino mang mag-aakusa ay kailangan magpapatunay. So, hintayin natin na i-elaborate niya yung mga yon. Sabi ni Nian Hats, thank you for supporting PRRD. Ang daming nakakalimot sa mga nagawa ni PRRD last weekend. Sana ngayon nahimasmasan ng iba dyan na puro panira ang sinasabi kay PRRD. Kayo talaga ni Crisette ang talagang Duterte defenders. Because, I feel that we owe him a lot. Sa totoo lang, we owe him so much because he put this country on the right track after so many decades of being on the wrong one, or actually stalled. Yung feeling ko stalled, parang yung mga train natin, ang Philippine National Railways, Diyos ko, before Duterte, wala, patay, rusty buckets, and some of them are on their last legs. And now, we have new trains, we have new tracks, we have new routes, we have more schedules, more trains coming in. Yung kumbaga, they're dragging us kicking and screaming into the 20th century, and 21st century, and I love it. And a lot of that we owe to the president and his men. So, it's not going to be easy for me to turn my back on this guy. Even if I don't understand him, I will wait. I will be patient. I will see, because ultimately he explains his actions. Ano lang kasi, but I don't blame anybody because bugso rin ng damdamin. Alam mo yan, nasaktan, naging emotional, and so that's it. We will forgive each other. Sabi ni Berich, if I have to choose from BBM or Bongo, I'll choose BBM, of course, base sa qualifications. That's interesting. Well, yes, of course. Yay, 6 years, six more of good governance, sabi ni OGC. Sabi ni Rayo Carlos, tama, hindi nila inisip. It's politics, but his legacy is unbeatable. People are more active in politics right now. Sabi ni Vince Arcilia, Trix kayo ni Crisette ang haligi ng pagbibigay ng perspective on the ongoing political landscape. Thank you for reminding us all. Well, thank you. Gagamit pa din ba tayo ng Smartmatic machines these coming elections? Yes, sadly. And I have to explain. The reason that the COMELEC could not disqualify Smartmatic is because there is no final judgment on Smartmatic. And one of the disappointments is that in the case that was filed by BBM against Lenny Robredo, the Supreme Court avoided making a pronouncement on Smartmatic. And so, as far as the COMELEC is concerned and as far as our laws are concerned, Smartmatic is innocent until proven otherwise. Sabi ni NB, paano po pag nanalo si Bongo, magiging special assistant for the senator na siya kahit presidente siya, kayo naman. Right now, he's already a senator. But I understand that what you're seeing is that Senator Bongo has insisted on still assisting the president, although he does comply with his own duties as a senator. What do you think about the three families? Marcos for president, Sara for VP, PRRD for Senate president, and Arroyo for House Speaker. What a game. I reserve my judgment on Gloria Arroyo until we have cleared up the things that are being said about her right now. I can't comment on it because I have no information either way on whether it is true or not. I only know that I have faith in Inday Sara. Ito, sabi ni Archie Bacan, hindi tinitipid ng gobyerno ni P. Duterte ang Pilipinas kaya gusto ko sa kanya, gastos na may katuturan. Strategic move, sabi ni Jans, para hindi masolo yung Mindanao ni Senator Pacquiao kaya may Bongo. Basta wag lang babaliktad mga voters. Game over. Oy, good analysis. I think I like that. Sabi ni Tamtam, subscribe, solid DDS here. Okay, para dun sa hindi pa nagsusubscribe, huwag niyo naman po kalimutan na mag-subscribe, lalo na dito sa ating YouTube channel, tsaka mag-follow dun sa Facebook. Ito, Joseph Agapitac says, ibalik niyo na lang ang mga Duterte dito sa Davao para makapili kayo ng iba. At least Davao lang mabibiyaan ng mga Duterte. Happy, sabi ni Joseph. Hindi, magtatampo ko sa iyo. Sabi ni Ian, medyo natinag na din ako sa tiwala kay PRRD pero pinakalman niyo ko at yung with clear explanation. Thank you. Thank you kay Dervich. Music Lover says, ano opinion nyo sa sinabi ni Tatay Dikong na pro-communist si BBM? Naku, darling, paki-rewind na lang to. Rewind talaga. No? It's not true. He didn't say that. Okay? So you're going to have to check the replay later on. Senator Bongo po ba maaalis sa Senado kung matatalo po siya sa presidency? Hindi po. He remains a senator. Maybe one reason po kung bakit siya tumakbo is to catch the vote of the DDS anti-Marcos. Posible din. Do you think the new Meta or FB will be used to manipulate or maneuver PH elections with the help of the CIA? I think that anything is possible, but that it will not go unnoticed for us. Sabi ni Pesto, nag-mall lang ako pag uwi, prophetic na si Atete. So kailangan na lang ng second miracle for sainthood? Yes. Nahawa na po kaya kay Atty. Nick. Kala ko matindi na yung balitang Will at Alodia. Grabe kayo. Sabi ni Aaron Lee, Bongo will not back out. Bong stays. Because not all PRRD supporters will go for BBM. Bong will divide votes for other candidates. Possible pa if BBM is bolted out of the race that his votes transferred to Bongo. All right, that's an interesting analysis. And I can't disagree since all of this is conjecture. Diba? Ako, ang subscription ko never pa natabunan. Di kaya ng FB algorithm ang tech towards ko. Kaya lagi ko kapag may live si Madam. Yahahaha. Galing. Anong kag sa malamang kayan? Sabi ni Richard Marquez, bakit po tinawag ni Sec Martin Andanay na trusted kaliwang kamay ni PRRD si Bongo? Hindi po ba dapat trusted ka ng kamay? Kasi the president needs his right hand to slap silly people. Sabi ni Heart Echeverry, hello pambansang pampakalma. Sending lots of love from this part of the globe. Maraming salamat po. Sana nakabalot ng chocolate yung love niyo. Loko lang. Aga-benefit si Mayor Sara Sabota, sabi ni Jurgen, kung BBM Sara man sila o Go Sara. That's true. That's true. Ang sigurado tayo dyan sa kay Madam Sara, di ba? If all happens according to our wishes, I would like to see changing the faces in our 500 peso bills and renaming of our national airport back to its original name. Well, then let's get our senators in place. Kalimutan na natin yung mga trapo na yan. Forget all the comebacking ones, yung mga return of the comeback, and let's listen to the endorsements. Let's listen to the interviews. Tingnan natin sino ba dito yung pwede natin pagkatiwalaan. Thank you kay Songs from the Heart. Sabi niya, I love how things are going. Let's just have a solid vote to ensure di makakapasok si Lenny. Roy Victor Legaspinion says, ang pambansang pampakalma. Thank you. Salamat. Okay, so did Sarah confirm the BBM Sarah tandem, or is it only BBM who has consistently declared it? I think I need to go back and check if what you're saying is correct. Diba? I'm not sure also. Come to think of it, that's a very interesting observation, Sir Noel. Sige, we'll have a look. At any rate, if she hasn't, then it might be because she's biding her time for it. Yeah. I don't doubt that that she takes the tandem seriously. Yeah. Sabi ni Yvonne Lopez, my first time here and definitely not the last. I enjoy watching this live vid. By the way, who's your bet? BBM or SBG? Nag-declare na po kami. Tagal na before SBG came in. Diba? Wait for the official statement these coming days. Boom. Oo nga eh. So, it's going to be an exciting elections, guys, with the president running for the Senate, with Inday Sara running for vice president, Senator Bongo and former Senator BBM both running for the presidency. You know, it's like choosing between your children, but hey, at least it's between people that we like or love. But at least, you know, we can actually shut our ears to the other candidates because most of the time they don't make very little sense anyway. So, and that's good. Sabi nga ni Fiscal Darwin Cañete, it's a good thing tayo, we have a choice pa. Yung kabilang parlor ngek, di ba? Kay Wengy Inojales, thank you very much for your super chat. Sabi niya, salamat for giving us balanced and legal insights. Thank you also kay Alexander Abao. All right, thank you very much for being with me on this live, even if it's just to answer questions and to share the excitement of the coming days. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng tumatangkilik dito. Huwag kakalimutan po subscribe tayo dun sa YouTube channel natin. Ma'am Gian, thank you very much. And thank you very much everybody who was here. Karambola po tayo at saka tambayan bukas. We'll see you then. Ako po si Trixie Cruz-Angeles. Don't forget to like and share.